Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of my 13 Reasons Why review. If you haven't watched the first part, please go ahead and watch that video. It's not necessary to figure out or understand what I'm going to say in this video, but it is definitely necessary to get my complete opinion on the entire series. This video is just going to speak on that last episode, the 13th episode with the counselor, and what happened, why did she do it. So, for the last episode, one thing I was wondering is why she decided to commit suicide so soon after her visit with the counselor. Obviously, the counselor had an effect on her. I feel like the counselor was just her last straw. She really felt like if even the counselor couldn't help her, then there was really no one on her side. And so she decided to basically take matters into her own hands and kill herself, to use a cliche. But yeah, other than that, I feel like one thing that episode really showed was just people acting so quickly to a temporary situation. You always hear that, don't choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem or a permanent fix to a temporary problem. And okay, I don't like using cliches, but that is so true. I'm not even going to say how temporary her problem would have been or how long it could have lasted if she didn't do what she did. But I do think that her decision to kill herself was very prompt, and I don't know if they sped that up for the series, but there were just a few things missing in the puzzle for me to figure out exactly why she did it then. Because she didn't talk to her parents about it, she didn't really talk to anyone about it except for the counselor. I mean, no one knew. When everyone got the tape, I feel like they were kind of shocked to see how everything had exactly affected her. And of course, I think that maybe she felt like they wouldn't care. There's no point in talking to them. But at the same time, she could have at least tried. And suicide is not the only option. So when you're going through tough times, and I've definitely been through tough times, as I mentioned in my part 1, I have also experienced depression, so again, please go ahead and check out that video. But I have also experienced depression, and just like many things in life, I know that there are many solutions to one problem. You have to think outside the box, do research, and really just be an advocate for yourself. That's sad to say, because when you're depressed, you really need help more than anybody. You need someone to kind of support you and be on your side and tell you everything's going to be okay. You need that person because you're also not thinking clearly in that state. But, you know, people are still people, humans are humans, and you really need to believe in yourself, in some cases, more than anyone else. Because one thing with the counselor is, okay, he basically said that if she wasn't going to press charges, then he didn't know what else there was to do. If she didn't want to press charges, tell her parents, or tell anyone about it, what else they could possibly do. And I mentioned in part 1 that I think he could have at least had a handout with other resources, maybe other therapists to talk to. But at the same time, there's a lot of times in life when people, and I have notes down here, so I'm looking down, but there are a lot of times in life when people are just not going to tell you what you want to or need to hear. In many different contexts and situations, it could be something simple where you really need some advice, just even advice, and the advice someone gives you absolutely sucks. And you might follow it and you're like, I wish I never followed it, I wish I never asked you. And hey, it sucks even more if that's the only person you asked. So in this situation, just like Hannah going to the counselor alone, talking to the counselor is just one person, and then deciding that, you know what, no one cares about me at all, and I'm just going to make this really big decision. Suicide is hopefully not what I hope people are doing in real life. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's very realistic, but I hope that when people are depressed, they explore other options. Even medication if they need it. I know some people don't want to take medication, but you can at least try therapy. Try a therapist, a psychologist, or even at least do some research on medication. And don't say, I don't want to take it just because I'm against medication or I don't know the side effects. Really do some research, talk to various people, because at the end of the day, it's your life and your happiness that's at stake. And you really want to, like I said, be an advocate for yourself. And even if you don't want to take medication, talk to someone. Talk to your parents. Talk to the people who wronged you. So you see Hannah waited till after she died to kind of tell everyone how they really messed her up and how they were in the wrong. But imagine if she had done that before she even died. Now, life is not peaches. They probably wouldn't have listened. They probably would have laughed at her. But I feel like she would have gotten something off her chest. Even another option in that situation would be to transfer to a different school. She could have done that even. She could have, she could have even taken a year off. It was only high school, but she could have taken a year off. She could have done homeschool. There are so many other options. And so, you know what? On that topic, I do think that for Hannah, she probably didn't talk to a lot of people because it's really hard when you're dealing with issues that are deeply personal to just come out and tell someone. Even if they're someone that you know, like your parents, or someone that you know that you could talk to about anything else, you don't really want to talk to them about those deep, dark stuff. We always want to seem like we're okay. You know, when someone asks you, how are you? You're like, oh, I'm fine, we're good. Knowing that's the furthest thing from the truth. So I think it was really hard for her to even reach out to the counselor, but you have to. Because sometimes it's easier to retreat into your depression, which is what happened with Hannah. Sometimes it's easier to be like, oh, well, that was so much effort. I tried. I'm tired. Let me go back to my depressed state now. You know, where I'm so much more comfortable. It's kind of like an introvert that goes to a party and they're like, oh my gosh, people are exhausting. Let me just go back and eat my potato chips on the couch, sort of thing. But what kind of life would that be if every day you were on a couch eating potato chips? Sometimes you need to try and put your feelings aside and say, I'm here. You know, just get out of your shell and try it. And even for an introvert, getting out to a party or just socializing once in a while is not going to kill them. Probably make them happier, you know? So that they could feel even more energized when they go back. But yeah, going along with that, you have to try. And I would say you have to keep trying until you get what you need. And it may not be on the first try. I'm not going to say it's not going to be, but it may not be on the first try. Because again, people don't always even know how to respond to situations, what to say. Even for people who are in the field, like that are supposed to know, counselors, those sorts of people that are supposed to know what to say to you, doctors, social workers, every situation is different and relative, and you're a different person even. So it's not even just your situation, it's also you and how you like to be talked to and how you would take things and where are you today versus where you were for yesterday or even a few hours ago. It's really hard when someone is suicidal to the point of, you know, staying alive and killing themselves to know what to say to them. So don't rely on one person. Always get your advice from more than one source. If you are depressed, I encourage you to seek out a variety of options. Do research online, but please make suicide your last option. And know that, like I said before, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And as hard as it is and as messed up as it is, when you're depressed, you still have to, you know, be your own cheerleader, rely on yourself first. Even the same way that people who aren't depressed have to. Because people are going to tell you some things. When I was younger, I had a therapist kind of look at me and shrug her shoulders to my problems. I was having an issue with a friend and they did something that was really wrong that I know a friend should never do. And when I told my counselor, she was kind of like, oh well, why do you think that way? Sort of, you know? So you have to know yourself enough and love yourself enough to say, hold up, that is not how she was supposed to respond. No, there has to be something more here, a second opinion, you ain't working for me, sort of thing. And I hope that, I don't know how you can get that, but I hope that even people when they're sad, they can see the light and have this even the tiniest, like a mustard seed, even the tiniest source of light to say, I am worth something. You know, we're all unique beings. To say I am worth something, I am lovable. They may not see it, but, you know, that doesn't mean it's not true. They may not agree with it. Or this person that did me wrong may not agree with my worth, may not agree that I'm valuable, but it doesn't make me any less. If you have a shirt and someone doesn't like it, doesn't make it ugly, sort of thing. So just to know that within yourself and to be your own cheerleader to say. Thank you.